Our reading this morning is Taraxacum by Reverend Julian Jamaica Soto. Even though they are edible, someone decided that dandelions are weeds, stragglers to destroy, to uproot. But dandelions never got the memo, never thought to care, busy instead with dropping roots, flinging seeds, unfurling shoots, and persistent in digging in that taproot to depths of 2 or 3 average adults. End to end, the tiny yellow flower survives. You are no less resilient, reaching both down to the strength that holds you and up to the light, out with your beauty. And you know, having sunk your effort into the cool, damp earth, that while dandelions can be clipped and fought, uninvested in anyone's opinion, they throw their sparkling futures onto the wind, tomorrow tucked into seeds, and grow all the way back, strong and bowing at the very same time. Thank you to Reverend Soto for this poem. It's better than the entire sermon. It's a sermon itself. The resilience of dandelions. The interesting thing about weeds is that they are defined by human lack of desire. Dandelions are a quintessential example, their sunny faces popping up in uninvited ways on meticulously manicured lawns that don't intend for them to be there. So iconic is their persistence that they have been used to represent resilience for groups as far-ranging as climate justice activists and military children, just to name a few. April happens to be the month of the military child, and the dandelion is their official emblem. This flower was chosen to represent military children because they share the kinship of learning to blow with the winds of change wherever they might be taken and always bloom where they are planted. Project Dandelion is a woman-led climate justice campaign inspired by the dandelion's resilience. Its roots, the dandelion's roots, while often unwanted, regenerate soil. All parts of the dandelion can be consumed, and it spreads prolifically by blowing in the wind, something that Project Dandelion hopes its movement will also do. The dandelion's wily healing nature and ability not only to survive, but thrive and to support the thriving of the people and planet it touches is absolutely inspirational. Its medicinal value is documented in ancient writings all over the world, particularly in Europe and Asia, where it is from. It actually didn't come to the Americas until the time of the Mayflower. Beloved by bees and other pollinators, it's a valuable companion plant in gardens because its roots sink deep, drawing up nutrients for other shallower rooted plants, adding nitrogen and minerals to the topsoil. In a recent post to the Dandelion Appreciation Society Facebook group, which has well over 200,000 members, Freerd Maria wrote, "The dandelion, often overlooked, is a quiet symbol of resilience and wonder. With its golden bloom, it brightens even the most forgotten corners, standing tall in cracks and fields alike. But it's when it turns to seed that its true magic unfolds, a fragile globe of wishes, waiting to be carried by the wind. Each tiny parachute is a promise of possibility, drifting freely, fearlessly. The dandelion reminds us that beauty lies in impermanence, strength in softness, and hope in the most unexpected places." I learned something new. This isn't in the sermon, but I have to share it. I learned something new about dandelions yesterday from my daughter when I was talking about this sermon. She said, "Mom, did you know dandelions are waterproof, the little bulbs of seeds?" And she had been picking them as we were walking to where we were about to eat in Richmond. She picked it up and she dunked it upside down in her glass of water, and it came out exactly the same. So perhaps, I don't really know why, I'm not a botanist, but perhaps that's so the rain doesn't put the seeds into the ground, but allows them to blow. What incredible resilience, right? Incredibly, the dandelion remains a humble flower, though its prowess arguably has mythical proportions. My own love for these bright yellow gems began as a child, like many of us, in admiration of their perfect aptness for flower crowns. Who has ever seen a flower crown with anything better than a dandelion? Their square, hollow stems split just so in order to make that perfect little hole for the next stem to thread through. And as a mother, I just spoke about my daughter, but one of my favorite memories has been watching her over the years collect fistfuls of those little white puffballs from when she was very small and methodically blowing their seeds away with wishes on the wind. So it's no wonder then that humans have chosen to use this flower as a symbol for perseverance and hope, and that we have an affinity for it, even though many of us also find it a nuisance. It's a little ironic, right? But we need signs of hope and persistence and examples of adaptability and resilience like the dandelion. The plight of our planet and people are real in so many ways, and a flower icon able to survive in compacted soil and drought, a floral warrior that finds a way to grow even from cracks in the concrete, a healing plant that rejuvenates stripped and barren soil, making it more possible for other plants to grow and thrive. What better symbol of hope, really, and an example of how to live, how to be in our current crises, be they the climate, or other oppressions, or otherwise. We too hope to be resilient. We too aspire to be as helpful to others, to provide a way for all of humanity and the world to thrive, to create heaven here on earth. We too aspire to be as helpful and as noble as this humble floral hero. So, my admonition for us this morning, for you to consider, let us be weeds. Let us be weeds, my friends, if we must. For being weeds is only a matter of perspective. Let us grow persistently in cracks and crevices, rejuvenating our world and making it more possible for the flowers and people of the present and future to thrive. Let's be like the dandelions, a flower that has won the hearts of so many. Let's remember this as an example not only of hope, but of embracing our own imperfections and learning to value our inherent strengths, even if they're not always celebrated, even when we may feel unwanted. Knowing that our resilience is our ability to dig down deep and to serve others and to draw up nourishment for worlds yet to come. Beauty comes in many forms and is all around us if we only pause to seek it. We have many examples of floral beauty here in front of us today. I'd like to invite us to just take a moment of silence now to revel in the incredible diversity of beauty found in the flower kingdom. You can close your eyes, or you can let your eyes wander over all of these that others or you may have brought. Each one so different, yet making somehow a whole. The selection of flowers here brought by many of you is representative of the delightfully wide-ranging expression of beauty found in the natural world, and this is why the flower communion was created, to celebrate the diverse beauty and the uniqueness of each one of us. Each spring, their delicate blossoms reveal themselves again. Isn't it amazing that they keep coming back? They disappear and keep coming back. How we might learn from their example, rising up again each year with their own gentle persistence. And is it a wonder that Easter has been chosen to be celebrated during this time when the earth is reviving, when resilience is rising up again? So on this Easter morning and in this Passover season, many are celebrating rebirth, resilience, and perseverance. Reminders of the enduring power of life and love are all around us, in ancient stories like these and in new ones that we can create. May we all be blessed with strength, hope, and courage to embrace the work needed to dig deep and to thrive, no matter what our obstacles, creating a better future, not only for ourselves, but for others with whom we share our earthly home. There are many examples that we can draw from in history and in our natural world to use as inspiration for the work at hand. And as Unitarian Universalists, we're invited to explore those and choose the ones that mean the most to us and celebrate and use those as catalysts for how to live our lives. Whether your heart longs to remember a spiritual leader like Jesus, who spoke truth to power and persisted even in the face of incredible oppression, and whose followers chose to continue to lift his name again and again and again so that his memory still lives today. Or whether you draw strength from the story of the Hebrew people who rose up in revolt, breaking the chains of their enslavement that we remember during this Passover season. Or whether you're drawn to the signs of resilience in our natural world that persist around us like dandelions. May your spirit be fortified to continue to pursue our shared UU values of justice, generosity, equity, and compassion as we work together to transform our world with love. One of the secrets of the dandelion's superpower is persistence. In a world where hope is easily lost, and I know that many here have been struggling with this, you've told me, and I can tell you that it's a challenge myself to continue to have hope during these times. So may we use this as an emblem, as a symbol. May we remember the ability of a small, wily puffball of seeds that sows hope and health for future generations. So I'll close now with these words by Adrienne Maree Brown in her testament to the emergent resilience of nature, including the dandelion. Her book, Emergent Strategy, is incredible. I highly recommend it if you haven't had a chance to read it yet. Emergence is beyond what the sum of its parts could even imagine. A group of caterpillars and nymphs might not see flight in their future, but it's inevitable. It's destiny. Oak trees don't set an intention to listen to each other better or agree to hold tight to each other when the next storm comes. Under the earth, always they reach for each other. They grow such that their roots are intertwined and create a system of strength, which is as resilient on a sunny day as it is in a hurricane. Dandelions don't know whether they are a weed or brilliance, but each seed can create a field of dandelions. We are invited to be that prolific and to return fertility to the soil around us. May your hearts be blessed by this message, and may your spirits be fortified as we now move into our flower communion ritual. Sarah will introduce it for us.
The flower communion is one of the few rituals we as Unitarian Universalists have. Other religions have many more traditions than we do, but we have several that are very common to us. The first is the water communion, which we celebrate in September when we come together for the beginning of a new congregational year. This morning, we're going to observe the flower communion. It's commonly placed right now as the beginning of spring and summer, as our flowers begin to bloom for us. The word communion has the common meaning within the Christian tradition of the ritual of sharing consecrated bread and wine. The dictionary definition of sharing or exchanging intimate thoughts and feelings, especially when the exchange is on a mental or spiritual level. But this is what communion means with one another: to reach a mutual place of understanding and appreciation of deep exchanges. We at UU Bridge share this way each week when we share our joys and concerns. This is also possible during the communion and through sharing of a symbolic object. So this morning for our flower communion, that object will be a flower, the symbol of the unique beauty that each of us brings and how the beauty is increased by being together in community. The history of the flower communion, which Reverend Lauren shared in her sermon, speaks of the fortitude of our Unitarian ancestors to resist evil, a story which still inspires us today. This brings a poignancy to the flower communion. It's a celebration of beauty. It's a celebration of nature, and most of all, a celebration of community. But it's not without certain fierceness, holding fast to beauty and goodness, even when we also know that there is so much wrong in the world, is a form of fierce resistance. Like the flowers themselves, we continue to bloom. And that's why we've chosen for our pledge theme this year, sustainable resistance. Reverend Lauren will now lead us through our celebration of our flower communion.
So thank you to Norbert Čapek for creating this ritual, Unitarian, and may his spirit ever be for a blessing. Thank you so much to him and all of those who resisted the Nazis, even though they all did not survive, including him. So let's take a moment of silence to honor him and the creation of this ritual. And imagine with me, if you will, a group of people who have scampered out into the fields around June and chosen a single flower and come back together again, and then exchanged that flower as a symbol of exchanging our own uniquenesses with our community. That is the reason why we bring flowers here from our own yards or gardens or the grocery store, and then take away a different one. So whether or not you brought a flower, you can participate. We always bring lots of extras, but don't take one that you brought, because the point is to take a different one so that you can remember to celebrate the surprising uniqueness of others in your community. So we are